And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pineville High School or Pineville, Louisiana, Louisiana Christian University, where we are getting ready to have the pregame festivities out there, getting ready for the junior high All-American games today. They're going to have some interesting pregame ceremonies. You'll get a chance to meet all of the players that are out here. The first game is going to be North versus South, and then South versus Central, and then North and Central will do battle, and they'll crown the champion out of this today. I am Doug Ann with 446 Sports, streaming this for our friends at Gridiron Football USA. Broadcast partner here in the booth with me, where we are a lot of times, is Nick Magnano. Nick, welcome back.
Man, it's great to be here, Doug. 49 degrees,
Goodness.
32 degrees lower lower than yesterday at this time. So 44%, or feels like 44, northwest wind at 12 miles an hour, and 26% humidity. So the humidity's not high out there, but the brisk, cool afternoon, Doug.
Well, look, you've got that wind blowing 12 miles an hour, and it's gusting a little higher than that. You can see that from time to time. But the kids out there are loving it. I mean, it's not hot like it was yesterday at 80-some-odd degrees. And once they get up and get playing, I think they're fine with it.
Yeah, and looking at the field, the good thing about the field, Doug, is with these temperatures, it doesn't get hot. Like, it's very usually difficult to play these games. In this, I've been on this field as a coach years ago in August and September. Whenever we used to play, I coached soccer here at Louisiana Christian University, and it gets very hot. So these guys shouldn't have to worry about that. And of course, you said it yesterday evening. It's the end of December, so this is the way the weather's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is, and that's your space. But this Gridiron fans of the Gridiron Bowl game that have been around and just watched through the years have seen rain affected. It's been moved up twice because of rain, and that's not something that's a concern today at all. It's beautiful out here, and I think when we were talking to a lot of the coaches yesterday, Nick, they were talking about, look, it's 50 and sunny. That's okay. They want to keep an eye on things. So if you remember last year in that North, South, and Central game, to crown a champion out of this, everybody had won a game in that, and so they went to point differential, and then the last team had to win by a certain amount of points in order to be crowned the champion of it, and it makes things interesting. But some of the rules, too, if you've got on there, I think they're playing 4 10-minute quarters in this. They'll have a very, very abbreviated halftime. The clock's going to run for the first 8 minutes of each of these quarters, and then the final 2 minutes will be the controlled clock like it is.
Yeah, and the victorious Central Louisiana team last year of the three had some very good athletes, some young athletes, a very neat concept. Of course, the Central team actually had lost the first game, but then turns around and wins the second two to be victorious, if I'm remembering correctly.
They lost the first one,
Yeah.
and sat out the second one, won the last one because each team played 2 games.
That's
won
correct.
the last one by enough points.
That's correct.
Over a team that had won the first game. And we carried the one, got out the abacus, figured it all out, and the Central team was the champions. They come in and play in game 2. It's a good old North versus South in game 1 of this one, and we had a chance to visit and see some of these middle school and junior high folks out there. And one thing that we noticed right away, Nick, and it rolls over to the senior high side of it, is there's a lot of size out there.
Yes, there is. Some of these guys look like some of the offense and defense linemen that I played with in the 90s. Whenever you look at these junior high kids that were there, and then of course you look at the high school group, and they're just monsters across the lines. But no, you're right. The size of the size of the team, the quantity of players, the numbers, are kind of your typical junior high. I mean, you have a lot of kids in junior high that will play both sides of the ball, no matter what school they're at. Unless you get into the very large schools in certain areas of the state, but yes, the size and the athletic ability of these young men are very impressive.
Coach James Taylor back with his group. Coach Anthony Jones of the of the Central team is there. Coach James Taylor, that we told you was coaching the North team, as he has been a mainstay at these events and suffered his first defeat last year. He lost a game. He was undefeated in that one. We'll talk some more about that tomorrow. But and then the white team is led by Coach James Shiver. Guys that have been around this, Nick, for it seems like the entire time.
Yeah, and he's very energetic. He gets very animated on the sideline, and I'm sure we'll try to get our camera on him a few times, Coach Taylor, because like I said, and look, he takes it, which I mean all of us do when we're competitors. We take it serious. But I was going to mention that about him being undefeated until last year, and we'll talk about the details of that, like you said, tomorrow. But Doug also wanted to thank Terrence from Ultimate Apparel and Uniforms, for providing the uniforms for this week, with the Gridiron, not only the junior high bowl, but the senior bowl. So great work. And he's also one of the GMs.
Yep. We're going to be very grateful for him until about noon tomorrow when the gloves come off and this thing gets going. I am one of the GMs in this as well. And we all drafted our teams in the senior bowl. And so he is the coach of the Demons, and I've got the Knights, and we do battle here at high noon. So looking forward to that one. All of these games, the 3 today, the 2 tomorrow, will all be on the Gridiron Football YouTube page. That's the only place to find it on there. And this year, thanks to our friends at Gridiron Football, that the pay-per-view is gone, and now everybody is able to do it. They were able to get some funding in, some sponsorship dollars, and made it free to everyone. So we're grateful for that also. But man, I tell you, Nick, as it's getting set, my goodness, it's not bad out there.
Yeah, we just had the coach from Haynes High School,
Right.
Coach Fleck, Coach Sprunk come in. He's Coach PJ. He's another one that's always, he's sitting in the bleachers there. He's here to watch his son Jace, who's playing offensive line, defensive line for the South team. But he's a mainstay as well, and was actually the victorious head coach of the Senior Bowl last year. But he moved on from Kenner Discovery, and looks like his son is still at Kenner Discovery in middle school, and so that's a good little thing there as well to have coach and son and father and son be a part of this as well.
They use the term walking soundbite when you talk about Coach PJ, and he is a lot of fun to visit with and a lot of fun to talk to. It was really great when he was at Kenner Discovery, because they were the Swamp Owls, or they are the Swamp Owls, and that's one of the greatest nicknames or mascots of high school football.
And I did mistake him for Minnesota's head coach whenever I said the last name. So
Yes,
sorry,
you
Coach
did.
PJ, but no, appreciate him being involved with this process as well.
Speaking of that, portal is getting open. Speaking of Minnesota and all that, won't be long. And boy, that one, what was it, Saturday night? Not a lot of fun, was it?
No, not at all. No, but I guess that's part of it. I have a text group with some customers and friends that we're all big LSU baseball fans, and we kind of started the baseball countdown a little bit earlier this year than we traditionally have. The first pitch banquet that they invite me to every year, I'm going to have to miss this year because I'm going to be in Mobile, Alabama for the trade show. But you're correct. Getting back to Saturday night.
A representative
Woo!
of 446 Sports down there with that is what I
don't know.
believe.
We'll have to see how that goes. But
Right.
no, but we were no, but you're right. Saturday was not good, and my assumption is you were going to that game because it opens the door for January 2nd. How Lane Kiffin, the Lane train's going to definitely be attacking the portal here in just a week or so.
And look, if you've seen things go, you know what's coming up. We've got a big one on 446 Sports. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the week as well. But here it is junior high Gridiron All-American football bowl games. And looking over some of the lineups, Nick, in this game, it is North versus South that is on there, and it's very similar to what we've seen. Of course, the team South is the team white, and you've got kids from St. Francisville and Baton Rouge and Montague and Eunice, and you start to see those type of schools. West Feliciana very well represented in this one, and Coach James Shiver in that group. We'll see some of those. And from north, it's always been a case of Delhi and Bossier City and Jonesboro, and even have a young man out of Arkansas, and a couple of guys out of Palestine, Texas are in here today as well.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch. Jason and obviously Andy and Marcus have done a great job getting out, not only in the state of Louisiana, but across the surrounding states and actually, nationwide, and they've even went into Canada for the seniors. But good to see groups, coming out of Texas and Arkansas.
And, you look ahead. You hate to look ahead to that other one. And, Nick, this is really going to make you aggravated. But there you go. You're on the press box cam here. And just an idea of what to expect in a game like this based on what you saw last year.
Yeah, basically really it really turns into individual plays.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there'll be some scheme, and there'll be, you'll have some play that you were able to put in that'll help you, maybe fool the defense or something, but there's no blitzing on the defense.
Right.
There's no trapping on offense, inside traps. There's, you can't pull, you can't twist.
And what's the big reason behind all of that?
Injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things to where, there's no cut blocking as well in ball now because of that. But usually a trap play or a twist play by your defense, really opens up the linemen for injuries and stuff like that. They're just trying to avoid that.
And that's what we've come to know, and you learn things through the years as you have these bowl games. A lot of bowl games around the state, but this has turned out to be the premier one between the numbers that they put out there for the junior high and the high school.
Yeah, Doug, it's always fun. It's always fun to watch. These coaches, God bless them for being out here, but they're creatures of habit.
Yes.
And when you stop their warm up,
to start doing,
you stop
anything.
their warm up to do something like this, you see a couple of eye rolls, a couple of head shakes. So,
well, and what they're doing, you've seen a lot of, and is where it'll get tricky is the numerical order side of it. You've got to look down and say, okay, wait a minute, who's where? And on your screen right now, that is the South team. Coming across the side is the North team. Thought they would probably have the Central team out here with them as well. But kickoff's still about 18 minutes away. So just going through the pregame festivities.
Yeah, this is something that parents, and being a parent myself, photo op right here time, and you remember those days, how whenever yours got to participate
That's
in
correct.
a championship round or something, especially on baseball, they usually lined up on the baselines, and they're good photo ops after the national anthem and stuff. So this is not only good for the young men, but also good for the parents.
Look, I think that's where a lot of it is. It's about us parents. We firmly appreciate that and the ability to get those type of things going on. So let's make our way down.
Junior high All-Americans, ladies and gentlemen, let's give everybody a round of applause.
Gridiron Football's own Jace Lejeune is handling the PA duties today. I understand that they'll have a familiar voice in here tomorrow, the voice of the Pineville Rebels and the LCU Wildcats will be here tomorrow. Randy James,
city council member.
That's right.
Now.
Team South. Number 0, Malachi Royal, wide receiver cornerback.
Going through the starters light right now. That is Malachi Royal, the wide receiver. And out of Central Middle there in Baton Rouge. Next is going to be number 1, and that is Braden August. He is one of the quarterbacks. He is out of Parkview Baptist there in Baton Rouge.
Number 2, quarterback Thomas Hale from West Feliciana in St. Francisville.
Number 2 is one of those, a number of those that we saw out of West Feliciana. That is Thomas Hale that is there. And out of Northwestern, and we found out Northwestern was down in Zachary is where it is. John Caleb Johnson, he is the third quarterback on that system. Karen Scott, a wide receiver out of West Feliciana. Westphal has always been somebody we're familiar with. Always grateful to make it down there. Tavares London, wide receiver, cornerback. So he's one of those 2 or 3 of these guys. And you see, Nick, I think at this age, at this wide receivers and cornerbacks playing both ways.
Yeah, and it's like I said, you're going to see that. That's one good thing about broadcasting this game is with the numbers, being so small, we get to call their names a lot.
That's right. Number 6 is another wide receiver, cornerback out of West Feliciana, St. Francisville, Louisiana. Of course, that is Caleb Scott, Kalib Scott. From Central there in Baton Rouge, Messiah Royal, wide receiver, cornerback, out of North Iberville in Mariguan, Louisiana. Did I say that right?
That's a good question, Doug.
Okay.
I could not tell you. You're usually the one that's very, very good with those.
Making sure you were paying attention.
Yes, no, I'm paying attention. It's just talking about kids. Our son Tyler's in Puerto Rico, and they don't have a plane on the website yet, and the flight's tomorrow morning. So sorry for my little distraction there.
A little bit of concern, yeah.
Of course, he's a grown man, so it's his to figure out. So
wide receiver, running back Dustin Dixon out of North Iberville. Rokyron Wright, wide receiver and safety, Parkview Baptist in Baton Rouge. Bubba Hawthorne, outside linebacker, an offensive line from Central in Baton Rouge.
Number 22, Kason Neal, cornerback, linebacker from Vanderbilt Catholic in Houma, Louisiana.
Brandon King Jr. out of BCA in Lockport. Dwayne Johnson Jr. from CSAL in Baton Rouge. He is a running back, middle linebacker. Number 21 is Tremiah Baker, the running back from Central. Number 22 is Kason Neal. He is cornerback, linebacker out of Vanderbilt Catholic. Vanderbilt, don't put an R in there, Catholic. That's where he's from.
Done that before.
St. Ed's running back out of Eunice is Jude Aquan. He is a running back wide receiver. Number 24, Carter Hart Thomas, running back out of Southern Lab there in Baton Rouge. Number 26 is Isaac Abram. He is a running back and linebacker out of Madisonville. And one of the changes, this was a jersey number, Caden Monroe. So we skip back up. He was number 7, Caden Monroe out of Sacred Heart in Baton Rouge. Number 50, Marcus Scott, OLD line, North Iberville. Number 65, Demond Bushnell Jr. out of St. Ed's. 66 is Hayes Rutledge out of St. John and Plaquemine. Number 75 is Scott Thomas Zonbrecker. He is an O-line, D-line out of St. Edmund. And Jace Sprunk, and you talked about him from Kenner Discovery, is there at offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah, good roster there. Good mix of athletes and linemen. So skilled players and linemen. That's usually kind of the issue with this age is usually end up with not enough linemen. So good number there for the South roster.
Now we'll turn around and look at Team North. It is led by James Taylor.
Starting off, number 0, Edward Mosby, running back linebacker.
Out of Hamburg, Arkansas. That's one of those that we told you about was the out-of-staters. It's Edward Mosby, the running back linebacker from Hamburg, Arkansas. Levi Martin, the wide receiver, defensive back, Jonesboro Hodge. They've got 2 or 3 good ones playing in that Senior Bowl. Jamar Perkins is there.
That's how you pronounce that name.
There you go.
Marwin.
Marwin, yeah. Not like you said that either. Jamar Perkins, running back out of Delhi Middle, and well, you'll see a lot of contributions from these Delhi kids. They really get after it. Michael Bradley is number 3. He's a wide receiver and cornerback for them. Kendarian Giles, fullback and defensive end. You're listed as a fullback in middle school. You're going to bring it. I can believe that.
Yep.
He is listed as a fullback and a defensive end.
I like it. I like it a lot. We have we got permission for the team that we coach. Team that we broadcast this year to be able to call their H-back a fullback, and that was a lot of fun for me.
If you're listed on the game as a fullback, don't get in his way. I can tell you that. Javon Carley, he is a wide receiver DB from Houghton, Louisiana, Houghton Junior High. Nolan Wade is a quarterback that is listed there. He is out of Gilbert, Louisiana. From Palestine, Texas, Marcelo Gonzalez IV, running back, wide receiver. Devontae Williams, they have him listed, Nick, as quarterback, wide receiver, and DB.
Gotta throw the ball to himself.
If you could throw it to yourself,
that's what I'm talking about.
All you need is Big Giles blocking for you at fullback, and you're good to go. Cohen Hendricks, quarterback, safety out of Sterlington. Carter Burtz, the wide receiver, defensive back out of Elm Grove and Bossier City. Zayden King is the running back out of Delhi. Jordan Harper, outside linebacker, cornerback from Prairie View in Bastrop. A couple of kids from Delhi Middle as well, offensive line, both of them, Jamar Spruill and Tyrone Powell. Well, you got your O-line and D-line in the All-Star game. I'm expecting big things out of Coach James Taylor in this North team, but you said they had some size to them earlier.
Yeah, that's very. I'm like I said, you can't see weight and everything on here, but these guys are all close to 6 foot tall across the front, 5'10", 6 foot tall, probably 190 to 200, which is a very good size for middle school offensive lineman, defensive lineman.
Number 52, Tyrone Powell. We had number 74 is Jackson Williams out of Carroll. Number 75, Caden Morris, offensive line, defensive line out of Elm Grove. And number 78, Colton Davis, O-line, D-line out of Gilbert. Now some late additions. Number 12 out of Westwood Junior High in Palestine, Texas. Number 12, Sincere McMorris. Number 24 is Washita Junior High's fullback and defensive end. Number 24, Kiyoshi Allen. Number 40 is Jordan Lynn. He is out of Russian, Mississippi. Is a linebacker. He's out of Russian Middle School in Bossier. That's where he's at. Sometimes I just abbreviate things more than I should. And number 65, Toby Wallace, is out of Gilbert Junior High. Not to be confused with Toby Gilbert out of Wallace. Wallace, that's right. Toby Wallace is number 65, and he is the center. So, looking at this North team, man, they're if you go just off of size on them, but I make no predictions in these games at all.
Isn't it kind of ironic though? We cover District 2-5A, and isn't it kind of ironic that usually in that part of the state they're usually bigger offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and just
you wonder where they get them from.
Something in the water, And he gave the 74 there. Williams, he gave the big fist pump. He's ready to go.
So I'm looking down there at Williams, Morris, and Colton Davis that are there, and you back up to 67, 65 that are on there. I'm telling you, that's a crew.
Yeah, I think behind those guys with the
and then you
with
got
the
a fullback
and Giles.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. I think between those guys with Giles, I think Perkins and Gonzalez the fourth. I think they're gonna have some, and Zayden King. They're gonna have some big holes open.
But these smaller teams, a lot of times, are able to fly around. I drafted my senior high team there to show some speed and to get after things. So.
Yeah, Doug definitely went after the speed and agility for sure. He's going to have to.
We're going to fly around, fly to the ball.
His linemen are going to do. His linemen are going to be more technique linemen than bulldozers. Here's Coach Ben
McLaughlin of the LCU Wildcats, the Sooner Athletic Conference champion LCU Wildcats. And it is great to have him in. He's actually going to stop by and say hi to us in a little bit, but has to visit with Coach Sprunk down there in the stands.
We'll post the updated rosters at gridironfootballusa.com.
Just a few minutes from getting this thing kicked off.
Yeah, and like you said, 10-minute quarters, First 8 minutes are going to be running clock.
Yes.
Last 2 minutes of each quarter, not each half. Last 2 minutes of each quarter will be they'll stop the clock. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll play just like regular, and we'll keep it for you because it is running. We'll let you keep an eye on that as well. But always good to see an All-American in the press box.
Thanks, Doug. Oh, I'm sorry. He was talking about Coach Ben. Excuse me.
They're going to go to our prayer and national anthem to get this thing going today. And we go back field level we go. Brooklyn Wallace doing a tremendous job on the national anthem. So great work by that young lady. Tremendous job out there today. And we are going to have the captains start making their way out to the field, Nick.
Yeah, it looks like though. Yeah, maybe he'll turn around. We'll see. Looks like maybe 50. It is kind of hard to see the numbers on the white jerseys here.
Looks like number 7 for the North and number 6 will be out there for Coach Taylor's North team. That is Jarvon Carley and Nolan Wade that will get out onto the field with there. They're waiting to get them out. A couple of finishing touches on the clock to get it going, and Nick decided to go with the binoculars today. Pretty wise.
Sorry about that, Doug. Yeah, it's always never know until they get across the field if you're going to need them or not. Were you able to get the numbers for the white team?
Not at all. No,
okay,
you couldn't get them without your binoculars. I'm not able to get them with them.
Okay, so it looks like 65.
Okay, 65 is Demond Bushnell Jr.
Number 3 in the middle.
3 is John Caleb Johnson.
And number 90.
And number 90 is Jace Sprunk.
Number 65, Demond Bushnell Jr. Number 3, John Caleb Johnson. And number 90, Chase Sprunk.
It's proud moment it's got to be for Coach PJ to have his son out in the game, and he's been a part of shaping young lives for a number of years with this All-Star game. But now to have your kid out playing in it, it's special.
Yesterday we were chasing him around the ball field in U5 and U6.
Well, first Christmas with the 2 granddaughters this year, so you're right about things flying along, my friend. Getting ready to flip, and I've got to believe it's don't know who called it, but needless to say, the North has won the toss. North's won the toss, and it looks like maybe they have deferred, and they have. So the South will come out with the football, Nick, and if you're the North, either team, you want to come out there and do this, that's going to put kicking team out.
Well, they had to fix it. They're both going to the same side. Oh, they're not going to kick.
No,
okay, I'm sorry. Gotcha.
No, kicks will be live in the senior games, but out here, they just get them going. And remember, we told you that clock will get to running, and once it starts, won't stop until inside the 2-minute mark.
Doug, I'm going to spot for you here.
Okay.
See, looks like starting quarterback is going to be number 1.
That will be Braden August out of Parkview Baptist.
Starting tailback is 24.
24 is Carter Hart Thomas, Southern Lab. So August set to get things going for the South team. South team in white, North team in the black with the gold numbers. And I don't think that's sending a man in motion. I think they're sending him off the field. Too many men out on the field. Snap is back and it rolls around, and that's what you're going to have to keep an eye on. And that is going to be August that just falls on that one.
Yeah, little miscommunication there. Number 11 from the North team looked like he was lined up in like a little H-back position. That was Burt's, and then they called him to the sideline, and then the rest was history.
Back to pass now. That's a little toss out to the near side. It is complete. Going to make a good move, get inside back to the 20-yard line, but still on his feet. Going to be driven out at the 27 is where he'll end up.
Yeah, good work there, number 24. I'm sorry, 24 Team South, excuse me. I had it wrong. Yeah, Hart Thomas there, the running back from Southern Lab.
Oh, it's hard to overcome one of those, that snap that was thrown between the legs there to start with. 2 receivers to the top, to the near side. August back in the shotgun. Look for him to maybe get something going with his legs. Try to get this back at 3rd and 13. Good snap is back to him. He's got it. He's going right down the seam. Too tall to call, and that one's going to fall incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down here early on. And looking at that North team just sitting there chomping at the bits, ready to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, looks like Hart Thomas, that run he made was also he also came up injured. Looks like his left ankle, Doug. So we'll have to keep an eye on him.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. You can't come in a press box and not expect to get on the headset if you're in here. That's only fair. So they give them just 30 yards, it looks like, on the punt is what they'll go with. And we are joined in the press box by the head coach here at Louisiana Christian University, and Ben McLaughlin. Coach, welcome.
No, it's good to be out here. Good to see some of these young kids. Hopefully some future Wildcats on here in about 4 or 5 years. So
we saw you when you were walking up, stop about halfway up and talk to Coach P.J. Sprunk. It's hard to find a better individual than he is. He's a good dude.
Good dude. We were teammates together, played together, and
Wow.
His younger brother was also on the team. So I was surrounded by some Sprunks in the 2006 and 2007 years, and But a great guy, great alum, always supports the Wildcats here and is doing a great job in his own right down south.
Timeout is going to be whistled on there, so we'll stop the clock for that. We may just pull the clock off of there to keep that from going on us. But early on in this one, 7:13 remains in this. And so that was a couple of years ago, Coach, that you guys were here. Great to see the work that you're doing at LCU. You guys are off a great season with the Wildcats, finished as Sooner Athletics Conference champions, too, after a great season.
Yeah, it was a good one. We had a lot of young guys, and you never know how when you have first-year starters come in and how they develop, and the old adage of they started off as freshmen, but they ended up as sophomores, and we end up finishing, playing our best ball there at the end. So it's always a good season when you feel like you're finishing playing your best.
Indeed, it is. Of course, the NAIA is the division that the Wildcats play in, and they're fresh off of their championship that was crowned over in Fort Worth just a couple of weeks ago. Grandview wraps up a back-to-back championship season. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Snap is back there, clock's running, and that is going to be Perkins getting out to the left side, going to get a little bit of positive yardage on there. And, Coach, we looked at some of the size in this game. Have you seen the size of that offensive line on the north?
There's no doubt. I mean, you look maybe it's the black jerseys and the white. They make you stand out a little bit, but they did a really good job recruiting. You got some of the best up-and-comers, and some of these guys, you're going to look forward to seeing them on the high school fields and playing some good football here in a year or two.
Nick made a comment, the kind of football that you see up in that northeast point out of a West Monroe or a Ouachita, you understand it now.
And all those programs are vertically integrated where they're running their high school schemes at this age, and so these guys are getting taught by coaches, really good coaches, and so should be no surprise in the state of Louisiana where you've got guys that are well coached at this age and are ready to go to the next level.
Snap is back there. Handoff is going to go up the middle, breaking a big run there. That is that looks to be number 4. And I don't have a number 4 on here. So
yeah,
those last-minute number changes those coaches do to you guys. I know we just slap a jersey on them, but we don't realize the ramifications that it causes in the press box.
There's a lot of it indeed. In at quarterback is number 7. That is Nolan Wade that is way out here. So, Coach, you guys kind of relaxing with it being the off season, just hanging around the pool a lot nowadays, huh?
Yeah, you know how that goes.
That's right.
No, look, in today's day and age with the portal and things, and you're obviously
ball is on the ground, picked up there, but going to be dropped in the backfield. Good work by the defensive line to come in there and get that. But, we jokingly, it just doesn't stop with you guys.
You fight a battle on multiple fronts here. You got to, obviously, we're recruiting our high school kids for the high school seniors. You're recruiting your own kids that had great years that are maybe looking to get poached by some bigger schools. And then you're also trying to figure out, what transfers that we may have coming in. 2 of our starters last year were transfers at this time. And so you got 3 different fronts that we're working on here, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
We hear that word a lot, Coach, poached. We talked to Kentucky Christian University's head coach, Jason Aubrey, last night, and he mentioned that word, trying to keep kids from getting poached on there. What point is it, if you get a transfer in that's starting right away, is that a poach, or is only when you lose one is it a poach?
There's no doubt. Well, it's kind of like offense. Is it a pick or is it a rub route, right? It depends on the perspective.
That's right. John Caleb Johnson will get in at quarterback. He is out of Northwestern, so it's all perspective in this, Coach.
But honestly, we can we get frustrated by losing a good player, but we talk about it all the time.
That one's going to be picked there down the sideline, 39 to the 30-20. They're not going to get him. It cuts back inside, 10-5. Looking like a little Kylan Polk out there, taking that one to the house.
the Avante Williams, number 9 from the north with the pick 6 there.
Look, and that one just floated up there. And that's a young man that is listed at quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive back out of Delhi Middle. So
Is that what you were listed at in high school?
No. I barely got listed as quarterback. I couldn't do about anything else. But I mean, we try to tell our kids all the time, if you play well and somebody in your play puts you on recognition and somebody comes and finds you, that's you earning a better opportunity. Now we're trying to educate our guys. Some people have misconceptions that they're going to go out and they're going to, they're what we call shopping yourselves out. And we don't think that, because we feel like we've got great opportunities here. So it's definitely a little bit of both there, but it's hard for me to argue if a kid comes to us and has a great year and then a Division I school wants to come and give them a scholarship. That's the world we live in now, and we've got to be okay with it, and hopefully we'll benefit on some of that as well.
Look, that is so the nature of it. We were talking, and arguably one of the best receivers in the nation, Levi Torgerson, is finishing up his time, and he says, look, there's an opportunity for him to get another year, and so he's going to go, but his only choice is to go to NCAA after that. And then the wide receiver out of Marion, Morningside, is going into the portal as well. And these are teams that are top 5 teams.
Right. It's like I said, it's nobody's fault. We're all figuring it out. There's new rules that we're living by, and now the 5-for-5 coming in, and we're all figuring this out as we go. At the end of the day, as long as if we lose a kid to a better opportunity and they're taking care of him financially, it's hard for me to argue with that. And so I want what's best for our kids, and I think we've got a good product. And
there's good pressure coming in, pass just thrown back over the middle, and that was good work to square himself up and get that pass out there. Not real good tackling, but going to be finally brought down, and maybe a horse collar or a face mask as flags come.
See, Coach Taylor already on the officials. He was past the line of scrimmage, which I think was very.
They're calling face mask, though, is what they're calling.
That's what I'm saying. But he was over here saying that they were past the line of scrimmage, so it should have been offsetting. But Coach, talk about what if they're at the higher level than when I say higher level, if they're at an NCAA level, dropping down to NAIA, what's the qualifications? What's the eligibility situation if they do come down? Because there might be family of somebody here who has a NCAA athlete that's not doesn't have the opportunity right now.
Right. NAIA and NCAA mirror each other pretty much from an eligibility standpoint. We get a lot of guys at that level that they've put in good time. They 2 or 3 years, and now they've got 1 or 2 years of eligibility left, and they want to get on the field somewhere. And so, Louisiana is one of the richest states and as far as high school football talent, and so we have so many players, and so we're always when the portal opens up here in a few days, our first thing is sort people that are from Louisiana that went out of state, who wants to come back home, and so that's what we try to set with. And Brandon Johnson was one of those at safety. He was at Lane College, and he came back home. And so it's eligibility is usually pretty straightforward, and it's getting easier now with 5-for-5 about to be passed here in the next month or so. And
all right, so explain that 5-for-5 to the people at home.
Yep.
That don't know what you're talking about.
So 5-for-5 is basically, you've got the traditional red shirt, right? And so when the typical thing on red shirts is that if you played less than a certain percentage of the season, that season doesn't count. And so you get these really weird situations where a kid may decide, I don't want to play anymore because you're burning my shirt. So they're just trying to say, how do we minimize that?
Right.
So we're saying there's no more red shirts. You get 5 years to play 5 seasons.
Wow.
And so in theory, if you're good enough to play as a true freshman and you don't get hurt any for a medical red shirt, you could play 5 years. And you would but it just takes that. How many times? I mean, right now, so many people are quitting at the Division I level. A coach gets fired early on. The kid says, "I don't want to burn a shirt off of a wasted year. I'm now gonna quit." So now it takes that out of it, where everybody you just play, and there's no more this. How many games have I played? Am I burning a shirt? Am I not burning a shirt? Just let kids play. They get 5 years. Let's be honest. They set the 4-year eligibility a long time ago, when it was when it traditionally took 4 years to graduate college. But
I was going to bring that up.
Nowadays, it's hard to do that. I mean, especially when you're playing college athletes, they're going 4.5 or 5 years, and so this only makes sense that they're going to pass this. And I think all coaches can kind of are in agreement that this is a good thing for all of us. It just takes those weird conversations about are you wasting a year? But that I'm just like we had these conversations with the kids on Kickoff. He's not a starting running back, but he's on Kickoff. And that's important for this team. But but he doesn't want to do that because he wants to play running back. And so it's like, well, now it's like, no.
Right.
You can play kickoff and do that and help us win games, and you're going to get a chance. And so it's a net positive for all accounts, in my opinion.
Well, that is good. And so the portal window, and I guess NAI doesn't necessarily have a portal, but it's more of a transfer market, I guess, that's out there, if you will. And that's coming up pretty soon. Those dates are. But signing day is just about 35 days or so away.
Yeah, no, I mean the way the portal works for us is it's really for us looking for NCAA people that are looking to move. And so for our guys that are looking to leave, or if an NAIA person wants to transfer to us, that can happen all year round for NAIA. But it all bunches up right here. I'll let this play
Yeah,
play
back
out
to
here.
pass. He's going down the middle. That one's going to be picked as well, in and out of the hands. Potential hold coming up here.
Doug, I was curious. We are playing 4 quarters, correct?
Yes.
Because they used 2 timeouts, inside this last minute and it looked like it was a clock issue. So I don't know if the South team was thinking that they were only playing 2 quarters, or just kind of surprised me the timeouts they used.
That is using some timeouts in this, and now in the end of each half is when it goes in the 2 minutes where they'll run it like a regular game. But there you have that. Coach, going into your 3rd season now, the first one, of course, it was not what you wanted, but you got things built and turned around. Now your guys that you were starting as freshmen and sophomore are coming up and are going to be sophomores and juniors and seniors. And you talk about them growing up between a season anyway. How is it now that they're developing and now they're 21, 22-year-old guys that have been a part of it?
It's what you want. Consistency it was what breeds the culture. Anytime, we're talking about our first year, the 4-7 season's disappointing, but even though you came from a good, Coach Maddox and a great program, and I feel like we had run a great program, anytime you're in transition and there's no consistency, it's hard for kids for everything to gel. And so now going into year 3 after a successful season, what's nice is we talk about it, on average team coaches lead, on great teams players lead, and so you're now getting to the point where players are leading, and they're the ones because they understand the consistency of the culture of what you're doing, and so it makes it a lot more fun for us.
How important is it to have a good tackle up top?
Kids out here in this game.
And that's Corey Campbell, Doug. I went down and got the information from Jace, number 4 for the North squad. It's like we talked about going into this, Doug. We talked about, especially early in this game, it's all the individual plays are the ones that are going to be the ones, because, like I said, you can only put so much game. That's a good question for you, Coach. When you have 2.5 days with these guys, what do you try to put in from the offensive side? What do you try to put in?
Well, we've been talking about this as a staff. Our staff is fortunate enough to go coach in the Dream Bowl, which is a college bowl game for people looking to go to the next level. And so we're having those meetings. We're going to have 4 practices, and really 2 of them are kind of walkthrough practices. And so you've got to it's hard because you're having to install enough stuff to where you feel like you can go out and have success, but then you've got to get special teams and you've got to get everything else built in. And so you really want to build a foundation of you want to have your handful of inside runs, outside runs, 1 or 2 screens, 2 or 3 quick games, 2 or 3 deep games, and you rep them. And at the end of the day, you don't want them to be confused.
Right.
If they go out there and they know what they're doing, you could go run 3 or 4 plays over and over and over, and you can have success if the kids are confident. And so it's about instilling confidence, letting them understand what they're doing, and getting as many repetitions as you can in a couple of days. It's challenging though.
Right.
Do you go in and put your NASCAR type of offense on them and run tempo?
Well, for us, we're going to have a meeting with the pro scouts. I think they may want to see some under center and some of these quarterbacks doing some things that so we're going to cater a little bit to what the professional scouts are going to be looking for. But we do what we do, and so we're definitely going to, and the other team is going to, McMurray University is going to do the same thing. And so I'm sure they're running their coach's scheme out here, because everybody has their own terminology, and that's the challenging thing as well. There's multiple coaches from different schools on this same one. So the coaches had to learn this system together before they could even go teach it the kids. It really is a fun but challenging experience to coach in one of these games, and I'm excited to see all these coaches out here doing it.
We're still working on getting over there and covering that one for
Yeah.
them too. So.
So I was laughing earlier because coaches were doing their warm-ups, and as soon as Jace came over the PA to get the players to line up for the waves and announcements, some of the coaches were just, you're in the middle of my warm-up. So I like it. I like the involvement. But I tell you what, you guys you're creatures of habit. You have a certain thing that you want to do which is part of it. I mean, because if you don't hit those marks, your kids aren't going to be prepared.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, whether it's from these all-star games, but it's all about the kids. The kids enjoy having fun. So, making it where this thing is fun for them, making it where they're able to go out and have fun. And, everything from the stretches to everything else is a huge part of it.
I can tell you one thing. When I played junior high, we did not have – I don't think we had 4 wide receivers on the team, much less being able to get in a 4 wide receiver set.
No, they are. Both these staffs are coming in with some air raid spread type systems, and so it's interesting.
This is not what you see a lot of. Coach, we got to visit with Coach Mo and Coach Josh Graham out at practice a couple of times this week, and they're so great to watch because they were working all 4 teams and looking around and getting some ideas on what to do. And how important is it to have this on campus and here in Cenla?
It's huge. Anytime we can bring prospective athletes to our campus, it's a win. I want to invite all teams. If you need a practice, Gina came out on their run to the state championship game multiple times throughout their run. If it's raining, they had home games, so they didn't want to practice on their game field when it was kind of muddy, and their practice field was so. Come on, anytime we can get guys on this campus, it's a win for us. And so I've got a great staff that loves to recruit. It's their coach Morris is out here somewhere watching these guys. If there's a football game in this parish, he's going to be there. He's like a ghost. He'll just show up one day and be watching a practice something. He lives for this stuff. So it's the lifeblood of our program. You got to be able to recruit, make these connections, and it's a huge deal for us, and I hope it can continue to be here.
We've seen that, and that's a direct reflection of Dr. Mark Johnson, the president here at LCU, opening up Gwynn Auditorium and the usage of that. They had their draft, and then their 7-on-7 last night was in there, and so folks got to see a great facility in use.
Yeah, love Dr. Johnson. Oh, penalty there. He does a great job. He's so outward thinking and trying to find different ways to get this university out in the public eye. And so things like this, we want more of these things on our campus because we think we've got a really good hidden secret right here. And we got to get it out in front of a lot of people's eyes.
Talk to us about, I know whenever I used to coach here and recruited here, of course we were D3, but talk to about any Louisiana kids, tops. I know we used to, when I was here, we used to match tops. Is that very similar now because I know that's one of the things that a lot of Louisiana parents, they don't accept tops. Well, talk to them about that.
Yeah, no, tops, obviously Pell Grant's huge. But tops, if you make a 20 on your ACT with a 2.5,
that's good work to pick that up and then and go back. He'll get past the original line of scrimmage, so they'll get back the yards that they lost. But I've seen that is Thomas Hill out of West Feliciana and St. Francisville, Louisiana, that has been up and running and doing his thing.
Yeah, we got a lot of good Westville kids on our team. Joe Johnson at running back and quite a few of them. But no, tops is huge. Even we're NAI, so we are scholarship football. We are able to give money that are strictly that we can decide on scholarship. But even in NAI, very few people are getting full rides. You've got to take everything, a little bit of Pell Grant, a little bit of tops, a little bit of academic money, and you put it all together. So if you're in the state of Louisiana and you get tops, you come here, you're going to get tops. But we also have an out-of-state scholarship because they know. So if you're, a lot of people the opposite. If you're from out of state, you've got to pay more to go.
Right.
We're the opposite. They give them an extra scholarship just for coming to us from out of state. So if you're interested, I'll ask you to reach out to us. You can call it, get on our Twitter, and you can find us.
Well, that's a good-looking pass just behind him. Head goes spiral on it. Nolan Wade will give get back with you in just a sec, Coach, on that. Nolan Wade out of Gilbert, Louisiana, we see, and he's back in there throwing.
What is Gilbert? Where is that from?
Well, it's down south. I'll
Okay.
just
No, they're Team North. Sorry.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Well, it's up north. It's in Gilbert, Louisiana.
There you go. The junior high names confuse.
Yes,
you're
it
so
is.
used to the high school names, but
You're
the junior high
correct.
names are so different, and you don't. I wish I almost put where they fed to, and let you know kind of where these kids are going to end up being at in a year or two. But yeah. So if you're interested, if you're out there and you're a senior and you're under recruited, you go to our Twitter. We have a recruit me link. Click on it. Go to it. Give us all of your information, and it's more affordable than you think. That's what I can tell you.
Gilbert, Louisiana is just south of Winsboro. It's between Winsboro and Sicily Island.
Franklin Parish there, huh?
Yep, and it's on Highway 425.
That is Jamar Perkins that has it. He is looking to get to the corner and tripped up there. Going to be brought down after a gain of maybe 4 on it. Coach, you guys had a great season here. We talk about the overall season. I don't think lost a game here at Wildcat Stadium this year. We were fortunate enough to call those games for you and came out undefeated here at home.
It's funny you say that. The last 2 years we've had the traditionally tougher teams. We faced all the tougher ones on the road in Ottawa and Texas Wesleyan, and
Right.
so a lot of coaches said they like that. They would rather have the tough ones on the road because hopefully you can guarantee your wins at home and then go and. But next year it's going to be flipped. We're going to have all the tough ones at home, and so now we've got to go travel, and it makes those other games harder when you got to go to their places. So.
3rd down and long. Handoff up the middle is going to be stopped, and that big offensive line unable to penetrate the defensive line of the South. And it worked out for you because you guys go out to Ottawa and take care of business in that one to wrap up in a dominant performance out there on the road.
Football's such a weird game. You could play a game and it was just sometimes and very few times that the ball bounces your way. And that was just one of those. And our kids, now you don't get lucky. It's because of the preparation and the things that they did. But in that game, when it all goes the right way, it just felt like you could do no wrong. Our offense was playing well. Defense was playing well. Special teams got some big plays. And so when you can do something like that on the road against a team that we've never beaten before, definitely was a really awesome experience. And it was a great way to win. And so now you got they're going to be coming to our place next year looking to repay the favor. So we've got to
They're not streaming from
long.
here. They're not streaming from here. Just letting you know. Because remember, they wouldn't let us out there, so they don't get to.
Seeing these young men right here putting these uniforms on. That's one thing I don't miss, Coach. I don't miss getting those pads on, those especially those hip pads and those thigh pads that we used to have to. Whenever I played, it seemed like it took us 5 minutes just to get everything, limbered up because you wanted that jersey tight so nobody could tug on it. That's
2 minute timeout is on us, Nick. Just the one score in this game. Recap that for us.
Yeah, pick 6. And once again, that's one of those things to where, it's an individual play. They had to. It was a long pass opportunity for the South team, and with the exception of the penalties, the South has actually moved the ball pretty well, but they've been penalizing themselves, punishing themselves with the penalties. But typically, what we usually have in these all-star games, they're usually not very high scoring, unfortunately, because everybody's like, "Oh, you've got the best talent. You got the best talent." It ends up 21-14 or 21-17. Well, it's because they don't have a lot of time to put stuff. And that's another. You talked about football being a funny game. The preparation that goes into a season, and then as the season gets going, that's just so amazing how everything starts to work together.
Snap is back there. Clock will begin. Pass is thrown, but it's
a double pass.
Yeah, it was. And you just talked about not having time to install anything, and they've got some.
plays.
Well, wait a second. I said that you could. I said you'll have 1 or 2 trick plays that you will put in there. We said that pregame, but a lot of times it would have been, and that was open. Man, he was.
But
I'm glad Coach pointed that out. He was wide open.
We always talk about it in fall camp when you start. Defense always comes together faster because if you're gap sound, you can play good defense. Offense, you have timing and rhythm and everything. And so I always said if the offense is kicking butt in fall camp, it's going to be a long year because your defense is not going to be any good at all. So, yeah, most of these all-star games are going to end up being a defensive battle. and you're just hoping one or two splash plays are going to win it. And that pick six might have been the one for this one.
Quick completion was there for a pickup of 5, and this is the South used, I think, all of their timeouts at the end of the first period.
Yeah, Royal with the catch there on the South team. Tall kid. I wonder, you think he's related to Robert by any chance, Doug?
He very well could be. Snap is back there, rolling to the near side, trying to square up, and that one nearly picked off in and out of the hands of Cohen Hendricks.
Yeah, big pressure there by number 24 from the north. Looks like he might, Allen, the defensive end, put the pressure on the quarterback, and quarterback almost had his second pick six of the game.
Look, that young man out of Sterlington as well. They got another big, tall one coming. 1:22 to go in the first half of play. It'll be a very quick 5-minute halftime, and it looks like a timeout has been taken there. So, Coach, when you guys get back on campus in January, tell me about the visits and when's your big weekend planned?
Yeah, so we'll have about 9 or 10 total visits. We'll have a couple of Saturdays and throughout the weeks just because we want to accommodate everybody's schedule. But we'll end up having 9 or 10 visits with about 20 to 25 kids on each visit. So you're looking at around 175 kids that we will put here on an official visit, and and we're going to sign a class of about 55. We're going to that is about what we feel like our number is to get our roster where it's going to be, and so. If we're targeting the right guys, we're bringing guys on visits that are also going on a lot of other visits.
Portal guys, or is that just high school signees?
No, yeah, that's going to be everybody.
Okay,
that's from where we are. That'll be everybody. And now for anybody that we lose that we're not expecting to lose, we'll add with transfers.
So your signing day is in February.
Yeah,
I like that.
First Wednesday. It's the same.
I like that a lot.
We have the same signing days, but
you do have an early one. Okay,
but it just doesn't. I mean. The kids that are best guys.
Snap is back there, pats the ball a couple of times, does Wade, and that one is in and out of the hands out near the 45-yard line. And Coach Taylor not happy about that. Look, you got to have that one.
Yeah, Carly goes up to make the play on, and just the ground, forced to drop whenever he hit the ground.
But yeah, Coach, you were talking about the 7th.
Yeah.
Or February.
Yeah, I mean, for our best guys, the guys that are going to come to us and be high players for us, they are still getting recruited by Nichols and Northwestern State and Southeastern. I mean, it's one of those deals where it's not going to be till the very last minute when they finally tell those kids, hey, sorry, we ended up going this direction, that now they turn to us. And so the first signing date, that just doesn't help us a lot.
Right.
We wait and we want to see, figure out where everybody ends up going and who are the best ones that are left unsigned. And then we'll get those guys that second signing day.
You talk about the undersigned guys, and Louisiana is one thing, but again, in our conversations with Coach Mo, they're just licking their chops at that one in Houston that's coming up. He said that's a big-time unsigned showcase.
It is, and we talk about it all the time. We view Houston – that's good.
Yeah, it's out. Good job of bringing Perkins down out in the flat. Really kept him from getting out and going, and a timeout is going to be taken with 1:03. But Houston.
Yeah, I mean, New Orleans is 3.5 hours away. Houston's 3.5 hours away.
That's right.
I
think that gets forgotten.
Yes, and there's not a lot of, the thing about the DFW area is there's 5 or 6 Division II and NAIA schools up there. There's nobody in.
That's right.
You've got a few FCS schools. But it's really, if they don't go Division I, they can get lost in there. And so we really try to circle that Houston area and bring Houston to the Golden Triangle, the West Orange Starks and Beaumonts up into Lake Charles and all the way up to Tyler, Texas. We kind of we feel like that's a part of Louisiana. So that is where 90+% of our kids are going to come from, the state of Louisiana and that East Texas from Tyler all the way down to Beaumont. And it's the Houston showcase is going to be really good because it's impossible to see all those kids in Houston, but now you can see all of them in one go that have not signed, and we plan on filling out our signing class of whatever holes that we missed throughout the month of January.
One of those, and we'll get back to him in just a minute as Perkins goes out in motion. Wade calling for the ball. We'll be back to pass. Looks good in the pocket. Throws it to the wrong jersey, though, and that one drops another. Just going to tell you that one of those pretty good in the program that came out of that Houston area that coached here is coaching locally at Pineville High School. Justin Charles came out of that Houston area and was a solid player here, to say the least.
Yep, Coach Charles. I mean, like I said, it's always been a great area for us because we're like I said, proximity-wise, we're as close as any Division II or NAIA school to that Houston area as anybody in the state of Texas. Texas is so huge. We're closer than them going to Texas Wesleyan in Fort Worth, and so
that's just
it's nuts.
strange.
It's nuts
to think about that.
Yep.
That it's hard to believe.
Yep, it's just so huge, and let's be honest. I mean, if you look at, the geography of Southeast Texas is a lot closer to what we are here. They feel more at home coming to us than maybe going to West Texas or something like that, and so it's always a good fit for us.
They get there a lot quicker. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Like I say, I have 2 trade shows. One I drive through Houston, one I drive through Baton Rouge. So to go that way, I'd much rather drive to Houston than drive to New Orleans. Me personally.
Yep.
It's that Baton Rouge traffic and everything there. So that's another thing. If you depending on what side of Houston, if you're on this side of Houston, you can get here very quick with very little traffic, unless something happen. What about early enrollees?
That really doesn't happen for us.
Okay.
I mean, to be an early enrollee as a player, you've got to know early on that you're going to be that good. And so their high school has to front load them so where they can graduate on time.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have those steps in order by the time you're at least a sophomore in high school.
Gotcha.
Most of our kids don't. And so, we won't have any. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in NAIA, but it typically doesn't happen for us. And again, our best players are still thinking they're going to get a Division I scholarship offer, so they're not going to early enroll.
They're early enrolling it somewhere else.
Correct. That's correct.
I prefer if they went back to no early enrollment and then had the February signing period.
No early signing.
No early signing. I think that would help the calendar a lot. Of course, I would also like to go back to a 10-game regular season on the Division I football side as well.
You're going to get us college coaches on a soapbox if you keep talking about that. The calendar is so messed up.
Snap is back there. Toss, though, it was behind the line of scrimmage, but still complete and going to be dropped there. Helmet comes off, and there's going to be a personal foul that's assessed.
Ooh, they're waving him to the side. I think that's one of our captains, Doug, number 65.
Yeah, it is. He's going to be off. Coach, let's talk next year while we've got a little bit of time left with you, too. We're not going to tie you up the entire time. I know you got a lot to do. But you renewed ETBU, and that'll be a little later in the season. But week 0, trip up to Natchitoches and Northwestern State University. That's just a big one. And another one, big one, working.
Yep.
We'll hold on to that. But Northwestern State University and LC in week 0.
Yeah, it just makes too much sense. They're right up the road. We talk about it. If we're recruiting the right guys, they were on Northwestern State's board too, and they just were the last ones that were left off. And so it's a cool thing for our kids. Our kids they like to go up with the chip on their shoulder because they feel like they should be in that locker room, and they get to try to prove to them. And so it's right up the road. It's a really cool thing. Coach McCorkle and those guys they're doing a great job getting that thing turned around, and so very fortunate that we'll be able to make that happen.
High snap once again. That's about the third one here. The pass is complete out to the near side. Got to seam up the middle, kicking to the outside. Got to get through the seam, and he does it. Off to the races. 50 now, 40. He's being pursued. 20, 10 into the end zone. No flags. Touchdown.
Call players, don't call plays, Doug.
That's good.
Plays are irrelevant. It's players. Get the ball in the players' hands and let them go make plays.
Tavares London out of Westphal, and
individual plays, individual players.
You just want to get the ball into the hands of your players. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's look at all we caught was the
celebration. That's the best part.
It is. Y'all work on that too, I know, in practice.
Well, maybe after practice.
Practice.
They definitely work on it though.
Yeah, we missed out on that, but we'll have that cut up and sent back to you. That was some pretty good single effort. But you saw the angles that were taken, and once he hit that seam, he was off to the races. Trying to tie it up here. That one's going to go into the end zone where it's going to be intercepted, so it will be 8-6.
The pass is
Intercepted there by Williams, who also had
the pick six.
Yeah, also had the pick six. So that's his.
Sure, he did.
Stat-wise, that doesn't go in the books, does it, Coach?
No, it doesn't. But it was from a coach's standpoint, it's a great play.
So,
You started with some young players, coach, this season. Bryce Perkins there at quarterback. Of course, you've got some young ones out of this area. E.J. Scott, Datelin Cunningham, guys from around the way. How is the you guys that are coming out of a senior? You've had the concept that, hey, if you're a freshman, it doesn't matter. Let's go to work. What is it about these guys that you see that are going to have an impact as a young man?
Yeah, a 19-year-old freshman can compete with a 22-year-old. You know, in high school, a freshman's 14, but you can compete. And so, and we tell our guys that too. The ones that are coming back is we're trying to go out and recruit you. We're trying to go find somebody that's going to come in and be better than you. And it's your job to have a great off season, not to let that happen.
Boy,
And
that's rough. Y'all tell them that in the exit
well,
interviews.
you tell that's the way. That is capitalism at its best, right there.
Yes, it is. But wow.
but we told them, but that's what they want. You know, if like Dateland is going to want us to go out and try to find linemen that are better than what we have, and so it's that is the way it goes, and that's the in the transfer portal world, that's the other end of it, that everybody, it's competition at all levels of it, and so we've got, and also for if one of those guys ends up getting an offer and leaves, we've got to have people in the chamber that are ready, and so you just can't sit and expect these guys are going to be here for 4 years, because it might not happen, and so you've got to constantly be recruiting to fill out the roster.
So the only work from August to December, that's kind of out the window.
I wish it was, but look, it's out the window for everybody. At high school, they're working their tails off in this off season, and so the off season truly is what the August to December is just the result of what you did for the other 9 months out of the year.
Well, Coach, you guys did a tremendous job. We appreciate you sitting in with us. We know you have a lot to do on a beautiful, I don't even know what today is anymore. Monday.
It's Christmas holiday. Every day's the same.
Every day's a holiday. That's right. And we've got the others. Wife went back to work this morning after being off 5 days, and she's like, I'm just not really happy with this much. I said, sorry, but I've been at work all morning. So she's, yeah, they work from home. That's the problem that you get. Coach, hope your holidays went well and your Christmas was merry with you and your wonderful family, and wish you the best of a new year, both personally and professionally.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for what you guys do, and we appreciate all the support.
There you go. Go Cats. That's right. Almost go Tiger them. Yeah, that's go Cats. That's right. All right, getting that wrapped up. Halftime in the books, 8-6. It was 8-0 till the very end, Nick, and then we saw this.
Yeah, what a just little, wide receiver screen here, and he makes a great individual play. The reception there by London, who makes the defense miss, goes to the house there, and like I said, we talked about individual plays and how that's what's going to be the case with most of these all-star games, and every once in a while you'll scheme something up, but a good pass there from that young man, and from August, and then like I said, a big play there from the wide receiver.
Trying to find the other one, and this is it, and we'll take a look at it real quick. Nick, if you'll remember this is when the South was on offense. They had their opening, I guess maybe their first drive or their second drive of it, and this was the one that goes to the house, if you'll remember. Early on in this one, you see them back to throw the ball. Take us through this one.
Yeah, you'll see pressure, pressure from defensive line on the quarterback, and he has to get rid of the ball early, and Williams is there to make the pick six, and Williams brings it back to the house, beats a couple of men, and brings it back. Then they had a 2-point conversion to make it 8, and then Williams also had the interception in the end zone for the North to keep it at 8-6.
And that's the difference in this one. North will start things, and Nick, one thing that we talked about was the size difference on there, but it's not really been a factor.
3 in the backfield, 2 full backs and the tailback here. We have motion there.
We are in the third period of this one.
The coach from one of the coaches from the North is pointing the wrong way, thinking it was, saying it was on them, but he was pointing his direction. So they did get it right. It was on the defense. That's going to make it 1st and 5 now.
1st down and 5. Again, we're into the running clock portion of it, 9:31. It will run until 2 minutes. Otherwise, you'd never get these 3 games in today.
Yeah. Mosby is the big tailback, Doug, number 0.
This is Nolan Wade. He's going to get wide receiver come around and get it. And that's our guy number 4 that's there.
Yeah, it's Corey Campbell, the addition at the end. And
we'll see him just come around and get right to the end there.
Yeah, 10-yard run there by Campbell. So a good start here for the North. And this old school I like this. Quarterback comes over, gets to play, runs back. That's the way we used to do it, or we used to have tailbacks or wing backs that would exchange wide receivers. Now slot receivers, what a wing back was back then. But and Team North also using some clock here as well.
Well, you say that, but and I hate it's the running clock side of it too. I mean, we saw that in that 8-man football.
Right.
You remember that? They used up a little over a quarter on there, and that's right, that does it.
Yeah, but I mean, whenever you have a 25-second play clock or 40-second play clock, you can really shorten this game.
Wade again back in the shotgun. He has it there. Handoff is going to go to the far side. Mosby trying to get to the corner, and he's going to be brought down.
Yeah, big work there by the South line there.
Watch it again, and that's just good line work there by the defense, able to get penetration and get back there and get on it.
Yeah, Zombreaker holds up there, and then Rural comes in and makes a tackle, helps him. So good work there by that South defensive line. So we got a wing tee out of the shotgun, Doug.
How about that?
I like so it's old school and new school mixed up here by the North.
Just plain school then, that's all.
Number 8's in the backfield with him, Marcelo Gonzalez IV, as well as Mosby and Campbell.
Snap is back there. Same play. It comes over, but just to the near side. Off and running it down the sideline, going to be knocked out of bounds there.
Yeah, Campbell with the big run there, 1st down run. He's knocked out of bounds by Thomas Hale. Number 2 is also the South starting quarterback.
You heard Coach Ben, and this is, you're hearing more and more coaches say this. You call players and not plays. You just want to get it into the hands of your playmakers somehow. And there are a number of them over on that defensive side, or that north side.
You know, as diverse as the game has become, it's still about the Jimmies and Joes. You know, scheme will get you to the certain point, but you're right. You still have to have the Jimmies and Joes.
Players have to do it. Every field the same width, same length. It's just what you do in between there. Had able to listen to that 7v7, and that one now they go the other way with it to Marcelo Gonzalez, and he busts through. Will be brought down after a pickup of 9.
Yeah, good work there by Gonzalez. Same play, just goes the opposite way. Good lead block there by Mosby and Campbell, and
chewing up a lot of this already. 4 minutes into the third period. Great timeout at the 7-on-7 last night. Got to hear from local product Caterio Pennywell, who made his way through, and Ricky Collins, who is quarterback for Syracuse right now and played at LSU, but played for Coach Marcus Randall at Woodlawn of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, good stories. You know, it's talking about life. Cardell Thomas was the #1 interior offensive lineman coming out of Southern Lab. I'll tell you after this.
Kind of bounced up to him, but able to pick it up and get the handoff back. But that little bit of timing was all that they needed. Let's take a look back at this one, and you'll see it, Nick, how it kind of bounces back there, and that throws the timing off of it and gets that defense back and going.
Yeah, 26 there, Isaac Abram comes through, makes a big play. You know, he slows them down, and then, you know, his teammates come and help him. But yeah, Thomas was talking about, you know, how, you know, he was just about to start for LSU, and he gets that injury, and I remember it. It was gruesome, and then from there. And unfortunately, with these college athletes, what's happening is once they get injured, just the next line comes in, the next line comes in, and he said at 3 different stops he was actually, you know, slated to start, and then he said some situations that wasn't, you know, out of his hands happened.
Yeah, and that's tough. Snap is back there again. They go the far side with it. Same result though. Good work in the backfield to come up and make that play.
Yeah, actually, it looks like number 5 from the South team, London, who was he forces him inside, and then Isaac comes and makes the big tackle. But see, when London keeping the contain outside on your replay there, that forces, which is what your edge is supposed to do, forces the running back into where your interior gets to make the plays, and that's 2 really good tackles there in a row by Isaac.
Taking the timeout, and again, they have held the ball 5 minutes, 59 seconds here in this one. And the clock won't stop inside of 2 minutes like it does inside 2 minutes of the final game. But Coach James Taylor and that North group content just to grind. And we've used this reference before, kind of like an MMA fighter just leaning on the other team.
Yeah, just those body shots, and hey, and don't think Coach Taylor may not try to pull a little trick out of us after they've run the ball now consecutively so many times in a row. We'll see if we don't get a little pop pass here next couple of plays.
Look, I like the way, and those that are new to this won't understand this, but I like the way that Nick's opening up his playbook a little bit.
Boy.
Because years ago, he'd have been content to run off till about 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
That's right.
On this one.
That's right.
Back to action we go following the timeout. Again, 4:01. Wade back in the shotgun. He has been in there the entirety of this drive. Little misdirection. Now he is a pop pass over the top. That one is complete out to Javon Corley. Jarvon has it there and brings that one in. Let's take a look at it again. Exactly what Coach Nick called up in the press box up here.
Yeah, you just draw him in, you know, with the plays, and he was wide open. Ball a little underthrown, but he stops, makes the catch. High points the ball, which is great, because if he would have waited for the ball to come down to a lower point, it would have given the DB a chance to make a play on it. So big play there, big play call for Coach Taylor and the North offense.
They'll go back out into the red zone now.
See the center skipping to the center was skipping to the ball. He's ready. He's excited.
He's fired up.
5 wide now for the North.
And a timeout is whistled there.
Oh, that's that's one of those situations to where, as a coach, and of course he's putting his hands over his head. But as a coach, you have the momentum. You pick a play and you just want to run it. And unfortunately, we saw that a lot this year with LSU. They'd get inside that 20-yard line, but it looked like he had the play he wanted and just was not able to get it run.
So the second timeout has been called here, and Nick, as I look down in the crowd, and we talked about that 12-mile-an-hour wind to start with, those folks are bundled up out there now. That's that wind and that cool air is no joke out there. They've got blankets, and of course those metal bleachers aren't much fun either.
No, they're not. So we and once again, most of the stuff that I've dealt with, with this, between watching and also coaching, was in the late summer, early fall. So that's another thing. Those bleachers are not very friendly in the heat either.
No, that's right. Back to work we go. Wade with a handoff up the middle. Going to break off to the left side and is brought down there.
Yeah, I thought that he had an opening there, and it closed really quick for Campbell there, and number 0, who is it looks like Royal was in there to help, and then also Dwayne Johnson Jr. for the south side to really not much of a gain.
Second and goal to go here. Snap is back again, right up the middle. This time that big running back is finding his way in.
Yeah, that was Allen, who was an addition to the team late here, to the roster. Maybe not to the team, but so he gets it inside the 5-yard line. Looks to the 4 on that carry, Doug.
Down to the 4-yard line it is. You get a good look inside there. 8-6. The North is leading this one. A pick six. They don't have an offensive touchdown.
No, they do not.
Of course, just the one offensive touchdown, and that was a drive by the South. It seems like just a long time ago. Third down and goal to go. That'll stop the clock on the penalty. Looked like they were going to big number 24, Kyoshi Allen, once again.
Offside on defense. That's going to be half the distance to the goal, so that'll put it at the 2-yard line.
His high school team didn't do too bad this year.
Oh, who's this high school team?
Kyoshi Allen out of Ouachita Junior High.
No, they didn't do bad at all. And that's another one we called. The game we, as Alexandria Trojans, we beat them last minute. And when Coach Bachman got to the press box after the game, we all talked about how athletic they were and how senior laden, that they were going to ruin somebody's playoffs, and they ruined us. 4 somebody.
16 other teams playoffs, or 31 other teams.
Yeah, what a great run. And they didn't have a bye either, so they had to go all the way through.
Back to the 2-yard line they go. Handoff is going to be taken up. No, it's going to be up the middle. That was closed off quickly.
Yeah, that's Isaac again, Isaac Abram.
Let's take a look back at that, Nick, at how it looked like Wade was going into the end zone.
Yeah, it looks like he was walking. I think he might have thought he was walking in, then Abram breaks it, comes off that block and makes a great play. So good work by that young man. He's definitely on the short list right now, Doug, of the MVPs.
There's no doubt.
All right, South fans, make some noise. It's 4th and goal.
PA announcer up here and right-hand man of Andy. That is Jace Lejeune. You can catch him on the chase with Jace, balling in the boot on the Red River Roundup and all kinds of places. Handoff goes.
Ball's on the ground.
Ball is lost there.
It looks like it's recovered by number 76. Yep, number 76 for the South team.
How big is that hit a minute ago?
Big.
It kept him out of the end zone.
We'll say this. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult for the South team coming on the 1-yard line, out of their own 1-yard line, but at least they're on offense.
10 minutes, no points, drive ends, and a turnover on there. if that doesn't drive you crazy.
Yes.
And points, yes, it's important to win a game in here, but you remember what happened just a year ago.
Yeah, you have to make sure that with this being a round robin format, you have to make sure that that you have the most points, the differential, and it's very important. So that I know the North, Coach Taylor really would like to have punched that one in.
Yeah, because anytime you get an opportunity to extend things a little bit, but now you're just a score away. Eight to 6. That's the way it's been since right before the half. We have moved into the fourth period of play now.
Ball is inside the 1 yard line, Doug. You have yeah, Hales and a quarterback, Doug, but 4 wide in the shotgun.
And timeout is called there.
Timeout, Team South.
And look, I'm a 4 wide out of the end zone type of dude myself. Get out there and throw it a little bit, but I think what you'll find is spread those guys out and give Hale maybe a little bit of an opportunity to take off and run with the football.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great point there, and it looked like looks like he had Dwayne Johnson Jr. in as running back with him beside him. So yeah, you probably want something quick hitting, like you're talking about. Spread them out wide, and just see what can happen here. Might take 191 or 99, excuse me.
Spread them out and run the draw. That's right. A little Tony Dorsett on Monday night type of thing.
Yep.
Don't forget, if you're looking for game 2 of this one, there's a 30-minute break in between games. We will stop the stream on this one. Stay tuned to the Gridiron Football YouTube page for all games over today and tomorrow.
Yeah, and let's go back to the 7-on-7. Doug.
Yes.
Patrick Cleveland, who's
Loved him last year.
Yeah, went to LCU here. Great story. Like I said, go back to 446 Sports. Go back to Gridiron Football YouTube page and watch those. It's a little over an hour long, but very good stories, very good inspiration from the 7-on-7 speakers.
First play to start off the fourth period. South didn't have it at all in the third.
Jude Audubon's in the 23, as I say his name correctly, is in the backfield with Hale.
Too many men on the field coming out of the huddle, so I don't think it changes the play call very much. No, he ran off. I didn't see Abram. I didn't see Isaac Abram right behind the offensive line. So they had 2 in the backfield. That's where I was missing. Just a straight draw, and that's going to be a first down. And that, Nick, is what we talked to you about, of just get some room there. And you see Hale that just takes it himself behind that blocking back. And that's the one thing that you want to do to get going.
Yeah, great work there by him and that offensive line and the 2 running backs with the lead blocks to give them some breathing room.
That ball is on the ground again, and they've just put it back in Hale's hands, and he is off the left side, spinning around, and that dude is getting after it. That is a lot harder 12 yards than the last 11 was. Let's take a look back at Hale as he just he does that all on his own.
Yeah. The snap was low, and he breaks the first tackle there in the backfield and gets hit about 6 yards, then gains another 6 yards.
If he doesn't run into the North player right there, there's no telling how far he runs.
Right.
So it's 2 carries for 25 yards now for Hale.
I like this formation they're in, Doug. This little H-back.
He gets it this time off the left side. Going to carry for 2 on the play.
That's number 23, Doug.
Jude Aquan is what that is, out of St. Edmund in Eunice.
That sounds like a St. Edmund last name.
It absolutely does.
And then our starting linebacker for the South, Abram, is the fullback, Doug.
This time it's Hill again, spinning around out past the 35 to the 37, and another first down carry. He has carried it 3 times, and he's picked up first downs each time he's had it.
Kind of Jaden Daniels-esque, kind of taller and slender, and doesn't look as as fast until you see him in the open.
Westfield Saints looking at with some interest here at this young man. Handoff comes to the near side that's that big running back we talked about. Spun around, and he's going to be dropped.
Yeah, that's a St. Ed product there. And Jace calls him O'Quinn, so I guess we go with but he
certainly we do.
Yeah.
Big shout out to our man on camera, Nick Morrow. He's going to be here with us throughout this one. Today in the final 2 and back with us tomorrow. Spoiled him a little bit today and let him stay inside the press box. Hale keeps that one and gets it out near the 45-yard line.
So, Doug, who does this favor? Keeping the ball like this, both teams. If the South punches one in here, it might not be much time left.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. Of course, no field goal kicking out there at all, and so you got to go down there and get the touchdown out of it. But you certainly want to get the win. There's no doubt about that. Coming near side, a little bit of a face mask there, spun around, maybe got the shoulder pad on it. You'll see Jude get spun around right there, but continues to go.
Yeah, and then he was brought down by Allen, defensive end.
Team from
Adam Allen.
Yellow team from Central Louisiana getting up and going. That is actually Central Louisiana, not Central Louisiana, for those of you scoring at home.
Oh.
There's pressure off the backside. That one is picked off. Again, that is number 10, Cohen Hendricks, who is brought down after the big pick. And let's just take a look at this one again, Nick, and you'll see him pressured, but just throws it off his back foot and on the run.
Yeah, that pressure by that defensive line there, and then we also have a flag. So fortunately,
illegal man downfield. They'll decline that, and the pick is good. Cohen Hendricks takes that back, and he and Dante Williams now have 3 total turnovers and just a 2-point lead in this. But that's big.
Yeah, it's it's interesting watching the parents get into it, into the game that is, and just see pointing fingers at each, at the players, pumping them up, getting them excited.
That's right.
Yeah, a lot of big hits. That's one of the good things we get to see from up here is how they help motivate these young men.
First down and 10 from the 30-yard line now. That Wade still in there at quarterback, and it is Wade trying to, that one tipped away.
26 there, Doug, for the team South on the, which once again, that's Abram again with the knockdown. So good work there by him. He's been all over the field.
This is a point where you wouldn't have expected. You used 10 minutes off of the clock in the first 10-minute period, and then you come out throwing here. But, again, it's about point differential, too. You want to get another score if you get an opportunity. You don't want it to go to the judges' scorecard by any chance.
That's right. Jordan Lynn is now in the backfield for the North with Wade.
The South will battle Central right after this one. Snap is back to Wade. Handoff goes up the middle. That is number 40 that's got it, and that is Jordan Lynn out of Russian Middle School in Bossier.
Yeah, and he was holding the ball with 2 hands. He was not going to let that ball go. So now 3rd and 6 for this North team, and see what Coach Taylor and them have up their sleeves.
The clock will run for another minute and a half till you get down to the 2-minute mark, but Still, Nick, an hour and 15 into a game that's had running clocks this entire time. That's why there's that 2-hour setup between them.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it was kind of interesting to see that when it first came out. But I also thought we were playing 8-minute quarters, so thought we might have had a little time in between. But so it's going to be a good schedule for them. Delay
of game is going to be whistled, or are they going to call a timeout? Their timeout was taken prior to it, so a timeout as the clock continues to run, though, during the timeout. It's run about 15 seconds off of it right now. Should be back at the 3-minute mark. So on the timeout, it was back to about 3 minutes on that one that has been ran off, but
yeah, we get to see here get to see that the two teams, this critical play right now. It's about 3 minutes left in this contest. It's gonna be 3rd and about 6, maybe 7 yards if I'm not mistaken. Once they get the line, the down marker up. Yeah, so it's gonna be 3rd and 7. It looks like, Doug, here for this North team. It looks like Campbell's in the backfield again with Wade.
Snap is back there. Wade now. Quick hitter over the slant is complete. First down is gathered in and brought down. And the ball may have come out of there.
75 again with the fumble recovery, if they're going to call it a fumble.
Everybody's switching, so let's go back and we'll watch the end of this play. So the slant was a good-looking play, Nick.
Yeah, Carly.
In its own.
Yeah, Carly with a great reception there and got the first down. It's hard to see exactly who punched the ball out, but we do know number 75 from the South, who is Zombreaker. It's his second fumble recovery of the game. So 2 minutes here, Doug, and it's going to get interesting.
The clock will stop at the 2-minute mark for the 2-minute warning. They'll get an opportunity to come visit, and, man, here you go. I think last year in that South game, the second one is where it got so interesting.
Yes, it did. Yeah. And, it's really neat. They added the middle school game, junior high games last year to this event, and I like it. It gets these kids the opportunity to play for different coaches, to get away from the house and experience what's going to happen whenever you get a little bit older,
right?
And how the responsibility. But I'll tell you something else, Doug. I mean, like I said, what they got to see last night with the 7-on-7, it's things like that. And one of the guys mentioned, which I thought it was Coach Penwell. He said, guys, you're probably not going to hear what I'm saying or hear what these guys are saying, but at some point you're going to remember whenever you're older and you say, oh, yeah, that coach said this or that parent said that.
All right, 2 minutes to go. Going down. I've got a man wide open, complete to the 40. Now 50. It's a foot race. Going to be driven out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So the clock will stop there, but we will take an opportunity to look. And, I mean, they were back.
Watch the quarterback get blasted, Doug. He got blasted after the play, too. No flag.
They're going to whistle. No, they just picked the flag up. Yeah, they're calling roughing the passer. So from the 39, it'll go to the 24-yard line. 39, 24-yard line.
I'm trying. Okay, Caleb Scott with the reception there.
So look at it again and watch the DB comes off on the wide receiver that drops back, and that allows to run just uncovered down the line. Good job, the quarterback, getting it to him, too.
Yeah, and he's limping a little bit, but it's a big throw by him. Number 1 for Team
Number
South.
1 is Braden August.
Yep, big pass and catch there for the South team.
Snap is back there. Handoff up the middle, tripping around, but cutting up the middle and off and going inside to the 11-yard line.
21, Doug, who is
Tremaya Baker
Yep.
out of Central Louisiana, not to be confused with